Oh, hey, Tony,
Okay.
before I mute myself out real quick, I
Sure.
got something for you.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there's a fine line between stress and strategy. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, there is. Very fine line. There's a very fine line. That's right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that, man.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to mute myself out. They're getting mad.
Okay. Okay, we have a special guest today, so I wanted to make sure that this young man is on. I love his story. This guy is, give me a second here. Let's see. Yes, I was just saying that I'm used to having, two monitors, and it's amazing how we are a spoiled society. We really are. I mean, we get so used to having different things, and when we don't have them, you feel like, in a way, you feel like, oh man, I can't live without it. And sometimes it's hilarious. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Right. We're all set here. So let me see. Can you guys hear me? Somebody hit *6, let me know they can hear me. Let me see, make sure here. Let me see here.
Tony, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Wow, I thought I got dropped off. Thank you so much. But yes. So what we end up having, we end up getting so used to, having. We get so used to having things, and then when you, when you be without them, how many times do you forget your cell phone, and then you're 3/4 of the way of where you need to be, or pretty far away from your home, and you end up saying to yourself, "Oh man, I left my cell phone." I mean, imagine back in the early days when the cell phone, you didn't have a cell phone. Now I was blessed to have a really, really good paying job back in those days, and to me it was nice to have a cell phone. So I had cool, thanks Andre. So I had a cell phone when the very first cell phone that came out. For those of you that remember those cell phones, it's hilarious. They were like those big brick-looking things with the hard antenna on the top of it. I remember I would mess around with the kids, and I'd tap them on the head with that hard antenna. I was like, ouch, But these cell phones, nowadays we get so accustomed to these luxuries. I mean, here we are, most of us on here, internet marketers, and we get so accustomed to being able to just grab our laptops, our headsets, and head out the door and be able to do conference calls from the beaches of the world. And nobody would know the difference. Nobody would know that, that we are that we're on the laying out on the beach or something like that, unless you hear people running and stuff like that. But, we get so used to these types of things that when you don't have it, it's you feel like, man, I feel lost, But so that's what happened to me. I was like, man, my mom just so I was so used to having these two monitors. I was like, oh man, I missed my monitor. But it's kind of cool. So I like to challenge myself, and it's good to challenge yourself. Do something every once in a while that you're not used to doing, something you're not accustomed to doing. Try doing something simple. Like if you have never changed the oil in your car, do it once. Get a YouTube video, or you'd be surprised what you can find online. You know how many things I have fixed by simply doing a Bing search, finding a video, and following the video. I mean, literally, I fixed this monitor myself. I've never done this before, and I did go to school for electronics. I was in electronics field, when I was working the JOB. So I was familiar with capacitors and resistors and things like that, so I know what a circuit board looks like because we used to build the chips for the circuits. So I knew what they were, but I never really got in there myself to fix one, take out old capacitors and put new capacitors in. It was kind of fun. I mean, I said to myself, you know what? This monitor, it's about $300 because, it's a good quality monitor. It's about $300 if I have to replace it. Let me see if I can try to fix this thing first. I know people say, I think Terrence might have said that too, just go buy another one, But, it's true. You just go buy another one. But I thought to myself, this thing's going to go to the landfill. I can't really sell it, So I was like, you know what? Instead of me putting it in the landfill, let me see if I can fix it. And you know what, guys? I did. I challenged myself to do it. And, I didn't have any schematics or anything like that. I just looked at the circuit board. And I was like, okay, here we go. I pulled out my solder gun, and I started to go at it. And I replaced there was 8 of them, eight capacitors in there, and voila, the thing worked. And you know how that makes you feel when you accomplish something in your life? When you accomplish something, even something as simple as, well, to me, it was simple as what I did with this monitor. I put on 8 capacitors. The ninth one was a inductor, so I didn't have to change that one. But and I know I'm probably speaking way above most people what they understand. That's okay. Just bear with me here for a second. Just go with the flow and understand what I'm saying here. So, when you set out to do something, this is something that I share quite a few times with you guys on the call, that when you set out to do something and say it's something as simple as picking up a shoe that's been laying in the hallway for like a week. You look at it and you say to yourself, that shouldn't be there, and you walk right on by. Well, I challenge you to do stuff like that. Like if there's a hole in the wall, there's a scratch or something that you need to repair, make yourself a list of things that are simple to do, put a date on it, and sign at the bottom. I always keep my promises and sign it. And then when you do that, you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind that you always keep your promises. Like I do everything I can in my power. I make sure that I do my best to be on these calls. And sometimes I'm a little late. I can't get on, but I persist until I make it. And I'm just so grateful for many of you that get on here and, and start these calls. You're here to hold that line so it doesn't sound like music's playing. And I really, really appreciate you all. I really do. You give me the opportunity and you bless me with the opportunity to be able to be a blessing to you and to be able to serve you. And I am just so ecstatic about that. And I thank every single one of you. And those of you that are listening to the sound of my voice worldwide, I appreciate you too. Because even if you're listening to it in a recording, you're giving me the opportunity to serve you via the recording. And that just makes me so humble, and it makes me so proud to be able to be around family like you, each and every one of you that are listening to the sound of my voice. And who is the sound of my voice that you're listening to? I'm going to tell you that in a moment, but let me first preface this call to share something with you. These calls are for educational purposes only. There are no guarantees whatsoever on these calls. We are not making any income claims. If my guest today, which is Andre Nurmik, and I'm hoping that I said his name right. I think I did say his name right. It's Andre Nurmik. Yes, Andre Nurmik. My guest today, it is okay, Andre. Thank you, buddy. My guest today is going to be sharing some things with you. And, one of the things that I need to tell all of you is that we do not guarantee any income on this call. We do not make some income claims, but we aren't guaranteeing that you'll be making that kind of income. If it hardly ever happens on this call, I know I don't make any income claims. I have people that join our team, our association, and they flat out ask me how much you're making. I don't answer those questions. You know why I don't answer those questions? Because my results are not typical. Andre's results are not typical. When you hear this man's story, when you hear how a man could be laying in a hospital bed doing what he's doing, he's not typical. He's not typical. And all of you that are listening to the sound of my voice, whether live or recorded, are not typical. And if you feel like you are typical, something's going to happen where you're going to find yourself one day looking back and say, wait a minute, I'm not typical either, because you're not typical. I was listening today to a recording that was done by a member who is not in our particular association, but is she is in another group. But I was just happened to click on it, and I saw a small video. It's a short video, a 4 or 5 minute video that she did, and Tracy was talking about how the person that was interviewing her looked at her and said, you did this in 5 years. And if you guys remember how I explained to you that so many people look at what you got today and forget your journey. They forget that hero's journey that you were on and you're still on, even when you do make it, quote unquote, in someone's eyes. Even though you do make it, quote unquote, they don't understand or remember or even know. They can't even begin to fathom the idea of the journey that you went on or the journey that you are on. People will see the BMWs and they'll see the nice clothes and they'll see the jewelry, and right away they think, oh, this guy got it going on or this gal got it going on, and they don't think or even begin to imagine your hero's journey, the journey that you come through to get you to where you are at this particular time. So like I said, my name is Tony Prophet, and I bring you these calls every single week, the good Lord permitting, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the week. As these calls, if they begin to take off and we start to pack out the lines and things like that, then we'll add on a Monday call so that we can try to, do our best to get as many people on these calls as possible. I see that day coming, and and I just can claim it right now that it'll happen, because these calls, from what I'm understanding and from what people are saying, these calls are helping quite a few people out, and that's my prayer, to be able to do that, to try to serve as many people as we possibly can. And so I started this journey back in I'd say it's like around 95, 6, and 7. We started this journey, and it hasn't been a bed of roses, that's for sure. Has not been a bed of roses. Hasn't been the follow the yellow brick road either. It's been a trials and trials and trials, and it's been work. It's not been easy. Is basically what I'm trying to tell you. It has not been easy. It's been a journey. It's been a challenge, but it's been a challenge that I today look back and say, I am just so grateful. I am just so grateful. I am beginning to learn and notice that, with your trials and your tribulations comes success. I had somebody tell me yesterday that, you do these calls and then, you're going to have more haters and this and that. And my response immediately, as soon as they said it, my response immediately was, my haters are my motivators. My haters are my motivators. You see, my friend, you don't need to care about what people think about you. You don't need to care about that. Make the rain, love the rain because it rinses you off. Love the sun because it warms your bones. I mean, these are things that you just, in your mind, can make an instant choice. You see, I didn't study the books that I've had on my shelf, wrapped with cellophane. I never pulled them off. All the books that I've had from Tony Robbins that I read, all the audios that I had on cassette tape. Yes, I know I'm dating myself. All this stuff that I had at my disposal, even then, in hard material, like cassette tapes and stuff. I used to be on the cassette tape of the month or whatever. I used to get those every time. And I had a trunk full of stuff that I could have just pulled out at any time I wanted to. And I never did. So I allowed myself, notice I said I allowed myself to get myself into a position where I was stuck in a black room. Like I thought that in my mind, I felt as if I was stuck in this black room. That all I had to do was just get up off my backside and just reach out to the doorknob, open the door, and just walk out. It was really that simple. But I didn't know it. And many of you probably find yourself in a position right now where you probably feel overwhelmed, or you probably feel like, oh, it's a lost cause, you know, it's all over, it's not going to happen. But let me tell you something, my friend. The minute that I said, the moment, that second that I said I've had it, when I said I've had it, and I said, I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet as long as I am blessed to have those 2 feet to stand on. And I'm going to move forward as long as I could walk. And I'm going to do what it takes, and I am not going to quit. I am not going to quit. I'm going to keep going and going and going and going. And if my battery runs out, I will find a recharge source, and I'm going to keep going and going and going and going till I reach my destination. Whatever I was put on this beautiful green earth to do, I'm going to seek it out, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to seek it out, and I'm going to do it. You see, my friend, there was something that Tracy said today that really, really stuck out. There was a few sentences that she said that made so much sense that I am so grateful to her for making this video. It's a sales video, but, you know, it's okay. But there was some message in there. And the message was, the gentleman that was questioning, you know, asking her questions, said something that I could tell in her eyes that it was sort of like made her feel like she wanted to smack him a little bit. You know, he said to her, but you did it in 5 years. You became a multimillionaire in 5 years. And her response was, but you forgot the 5 years prior. It's been a 10-year journey, not a 5-year journey. You didn't take into consideration the 18 hours a day that I worked, yes, in those 5 years, the 18-hour days that I had, the 20-hour days, or where I would go 2 days without sleeping. Many of you on here are doing the same thing. I know I was. I know I still do. Sometimes go into 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, and your spouse comes into the office and what are you doing? When are you going to bed? You get into bed at 4 o'clock only to get up at 8:30 in the morning to do your trading, whatever you do in the morning, and then to get on the call, if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock to do other things. You have other things outside of your office that you have to do. If you have other businesses, you see, she reminded this gentleman, hey, you forgot my hero's journey. She didn't say that. She don't use a hero's journey because that's usually words that we use. Those of us that I know in my master key, we use those words, hero's journey. That's our hero's journey. But forgot her hero's journey, the journey she was on. She just didn't make the money overnight. She's not driving around in a Maserati because, oh, it was simple for her. She got that. See, people look at that and say, oh, she's successful. That was easy for her. This journey that you're on right now, those of you that are listening to the sound of my voice, this journey that you're on is not going to be simple. If that scares you, don't let it scare you. Let it empower you. This journey is not simple. And I am not going to blow smoke up your backside and tell you that it's simple. It is not simple. So many people will quit before they reached their goal. They stop 3 to 4 inches before their breakthrough. 3 to 4 inches before their breakthrough, they quit. They quit. All they had to do was just claw a few more inches, and their breakthrough would have been right there. If you're listening to the sound of my voice right now and you feel like you want to quit, don't. Don't. You do whatever you have to do. You do whatever you have to do. Listen to, we got probably 20 or 50, I don't even know how many calls we have on the website where you can download them. Listen to positive things all the time. If you're having a challenge, put on some fast moving music and dance to your heart's content. Just work like you do not need the money, love like you have never been hurt, and dance like you do when nobody is watching. Just do it. I'm telling you, it's all in your mind. The mind. The minute, the moment, the second, the millisecond that you grasp this concept and understand that you have the power, you will understand that you cannot quit. So Tracy went on to say something that really, really sparked me. I was like, you go, girl. That's so true. And she said so many people start a home-based business. So many people start a business. She said home-based business, but let's just use this as a business in general. So many people start a business and their heart is not in it. Their mind is not in it. That is powerful. So ask yourself this question. Did you start your hero's journey and your mind and heart is not in it? This is why we started these calls, to help you with that. It's our effort. It's my prayer and my effort and my service, hopefully praying that you guys listen to what I'm saying. And this is why we bring people on, and that's why we try our best we do our best to bring people on, like this gentleman that we have on today, Andre, who's taken time out of his busy schedule to come on with us today, to share with you his hero's journey. Now, he may not call it that, but we're just calling it because that's what I'm just calling it. But, the point that I make is to come on here to share his hero's journey, the journey that he is going through and has to go through and had to go through to get to where he is at today. Now, I'm not saying he's reached his destination. I don't know that for sure. I'm not, I don't live in his house or anything like that, so I don't know where he's at, but I'm sure he'll share what he wants to share with you guys today. But without further ado, I want to bring Mr. Andre Nurmik on. That was a really long introduction, I know, Andre, but hope you can. Hope you're still there. There you go. But do you agree with that, Andre? I mean, really, what I said, that so many people will start this journey and their heart is not in it and their mind is not in it.
Well, can you hear me okay, Tony?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, that's great. Hey, absolutely, I agree. Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, that's the first golden nugget you can take here. Just keep chasing your dream and never quit. Just be consistent. Just keep working. That's the first thing.
That's it. But I just wanted to introduce you and let you tell. I know you have an amazing story. I had the opportunity of a lifetime to be able to hear it firsthand in Hawaii, and actually, I think that's the picture on your Facebook with you holding the microphone. That was in Hawaii, and I wanted to bring you out, and I appreciate you taking my offer to come right on and to share with these great folks that are on here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to hear these calls. I appreciate you taking time, but the floor is yours, man. You take the time you need.
Okay. At first, Tony, thank you so much for inviting. I really appreciate it, and it's an honor. Seriously. I actually listened to a few recordings, from your audios yesterday, and I have to tell you that I have my new source now, where I can download my daily audios, and you're doing awesome job, man. You're doing awesome job.
Oh, thank you, Andre. I'm glad they were a blessing to you, brother.
Okay. But man, my story is just so complicated, and there stuff I've done, and to get where I'm today, and like you mentioned that Hawaii, when I shared my story, man, it was actually one of my biggest breakthroughs, because even on to that point, even all my friends didn't know that story. They just knew something that, okay, there is something wrong with Andre, but they didn't know how serious my situation was, my health situation. They just I mean, I have been always with this attitude that I don't give up, and I'm naturally really positive, and I usually, I mean, I'm doing, even when I'm sick, you know, when I was on dialysis treatment, I was always really positive, and I try to do stuff that every healthy people, you know, all the healthy people are doing. And that's why, you know, most of my friends and everybody took me as a healthy person, you know, but they never actually realized, you know, what I really, how much, you know, effort and how much I'm really, you know, put into this, you know, every single day to act like that, you know. So it was really, really big breakthrough when I finally, like, you know, in hundreds of people, in front of hundreds of people, and then, you know, there was like a live webcast, and, you know, I mean, the general, like, thousands of people, you know, watched that live. So, and probably when last time before that, you know, I was speaking in public, you know, well, maybe, you know, fourth grade when I was reading a poem, you know, in school, something like that. So, definitely, it was one really important milestone in my life. So right now, I mean, even right now, you know, I'm here, you know, with you on this call and sharing my story, and I have to tell you right away that to all people that even back in January, you know, when Vic came out with the Big Idea Mastermind, you know, obviously the business opportunity we're in with Tony. I wasn't, you know, able to speak English like I'm speaking right now, and I mean, I wasn't in internet marketing business back in 2009, but I was, you know, it was really lonely journey, and I was doing my own thing, just me and my computer, you know. I didn't speak with anybody, and that's the way I thought this business is. So this everything here, our community, it's totally different world for me. So. But when we're going back now, how everything, you know, started and how I actually found this industry, you know, this home-based business industry and internet marketing was, I can say that when I was like even 16, 17 years old, you know, and doctors actually discovered that I have really serious kidney disease, and you know, sooner or later I probably need a kidney transplant and dialysis, you know, to wait that kidney transplant, because you know, in real life it's not happening like it's not like in movies, you know, that like Dr. House, you're going to hospital, you're just spending a week in hospital, you have a surgery, and your life is normal again. You know, in real life it's a lot different, you know. So anyway. As long as I remember, you know, my really big passion was, you know, basketball. It still is, you know. I'm really passionate about, not in general in sports, but especially in basketball. I don't know what's that special in this game, but I absolutely love this game. But obviously, you know, right now I can say that my number one passion is this business and my business, and I put all my energy and my everything I have into this business. And basketball is, when I'm watching basketball or something like that, it's just something fun. I'm, you know, this is just time for myself, you know. But I can say that, you know, I got those news, you know, when I was like 17 years old, that okay, Andre, you have a serious disease, and you can't play basketball anymore. Okay, you have to stop. So, but probably, you know, all people, you know, who are listening right now, you know, when you think back then, when you were like 17 years old or 16 years old, you think that, you know, everything is possible, and bad things like that, you know, can happen only, I mean, I don't know, in movies, you know, in other stories, you know, but you just, I don't know really how human brain is working, but it's sometimes you just don't understand that, you know. And I just refuse to admit that I can't, you know, work on my dream. You know, you really pursue my dream to become a basketball player, and I start working even harder. You know, and I practice really hard in you know, weight room and in basketball field and everywhere. When I basically one day, you know, I just passed out one practice, and I ended up, you know, on dialysis, on hospital, and my life was upside down. I spent after that practice, I spent 3-4 months straight in hospital, the whole summer basically. I was I was 18 years old then already, okay? And I didn't, graduate my school because of that and all those things. So I can, and I was on dialysis treatment, okay? 18 years old, I can say that I wasn't even grown up, and I was that problem, So, but I was on the dialysis treatment, and after 6 months, my mom actually gave me her kidney, and I could say that I was back in business, But even when you have a kidney transplant or whatever organ you need, the life will be never be the same, because you still have a lot of limitations. You need to take different medications. So that this kidney keeps functioning. And traveling and everything is still quite limited. You have to be really careful because basically you're taking like drugs that keep your immune system lower than a normal person have, because the kidney you have in the transplant, it's not yours, and your body actually understands that it's not yours, so it will reject it without those medicines. So, but at the same time, you're more vulnerable to different diseases and stuff. So you really have to be careful, But I was almost 19 years old then. I got my kidney transplant, and but I have to say that I was I'm naturally a really positive person. I can say that I've never been in deep depression or anything like that. Even when I've come through a lot of struggle and stuff, but I can say that I was really lost, because I knew that I can't play basketball anymore, and I really didn't know what that was my only dream, and it was gone, So I got myself some different jobs, and I was just living, because I didn't have any purpose or goal to work on, But on that time, actually, one player, in NBA, is Alonzo Mourning is his name, from Miami Heat, at that time. He had actually some kidney disease as well, and he got his kidney transplant, and he made a comeback, He started playing again basketball, and that was all I needed to know, that it's still possible, Even everything that doctors told me, that you really have to be careful, please don't start doing some crazy stuff, and you have to, if you want to live a normal life, and then be healthy, you have to keep this kidney transplant safe, You can't do sports really actively, But when I heard that story, I'm following basketball even right now, that was all I need to know, that it's still possible, because this guy is doing it, You just, you're just aware of that now, You know that there is a guy who's doing it in your situation. And I start working really hard again, and right now I know that, I don't know, it's done now. I can't say that was it wrong or bad, but I lost the kidney transplant after 4 years, and as well I lost my job. So that was finally when the reality hit me, that man, I was working again on my goal, and I lost the kidney transplant because of that, and I lost my job. So and I didn't graduate my school back then, when I was 18 years old, and what now, So then was the moment when I realized that I really can't, everything is awesome, You have a big dream to become a basketball player, but when you don't have a body you can play that game with, it's really hard. It's really hard to pursue your dream. So I realized that I really have to find something else, and I can say that I was really passionate about becoming a basketball player, but I'm not even thinking about being a coach or anything like that, So that's and then that time when I played basketball, I wasn't business-minded person at all, and I wasn't even thinking about that, to own a home-based business or my own business, whatever business, But that moment, when the reality hit me, then I realized that I really can't depend on anyone else, because when I was when I'm on dialysis treatment, and I have to go to the hospital like 4 days a week and then stay there like 4 or 5 hours. It takes like the whole thing. I'm going out from home. When I get back home, it takes like even over 5 hours, So it's really hard to find a job or anything like that, when you have a schedule like that, And of course, after dialysis, you feel like crap, headaches and then muscle cramps and stuff like that, I don't even want to talk about this stuff, but you feel like crap, So I realized that I really need to find something that I can control, I really needed that location freedom, and it wasn't about some fancy stuff, from me at first place, I just want to make my living and then pay my bills, that was it, so I can just work from home or from hospital. and I came across a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and obviously you, Tony, know it's all about like real estate and everything. So
yeah, it's a great book. I love that book, though. It's a great book. Yeah,
great book. Absolutely love Robert Kiyosaki books and everything. But I realized that, man, I'm broke. It's really, really hard to start, investing in all this stuff. I really to make some cash right now. So I had I did some crazy stuff. I bought and sell cars and things like that. When I finally came across that idea that people are actually making money online. Okay, that's pretty cool, but I didn't have any idea, how is possible to make money online. Only idea I had was like that probably I need to have some, create some website and when a lot of people are going to visit this website, I can sell advertising or something like that, but I didn't know anything about affiliate marketing and all this business opportunity, marketplace, nothing. So, but finally I came across one guy from Estonia as well. He's really successful, online entrepreneur right now, and but he's not in this, I can say affiliate market, affiliate marketing business, and then this business opportunity market. He's providing now his own services and stuff. But that time back in 2009, I actually found his course. It was in Estonian, because back in 2009 I didn't spoke basically any English, like really basic stuff I understand. I was maybe able to introduce myself and things like that, but this course was in Estonian, but and then I learned everything about affiliate marketing, and I found ClickBank and other affiliate networks. And I got an idea how this stuff is actually working. But right away I understand that, okay, I need to learn English, because let's be honest, internet language is English, and especially in this business opportunity market and everything, it's quite hard, basically impossible to make your breakthrough when you don't speak English and be successful here. And because, in Estonian, there were like maybe 1 million people in the world who were speaking Estonian, something like that. The population here, it's like really small country in Northern Europe, the whole population is like only 1.3 million, something like that. Really, really quiet and a small place. So I started to learn English, and I started I learned a strategy where I built different little niche sites, and it was basically SEO, search engine optimization strategy, where I was like creating little niche blogs, sites, and I was ranking on first place or at first page on Google. such, and then I got like maybe 100, 200, 300 visits per month, but all this blog and the keyword, everything was related and built around one specific product in most cases, and it was highly targeted visitors, and that's how I actually started making some money online first time, and I was doing pretty good until Google came out with all those animals, panda and penguin and all those updates, and I lost my work, I can say, not my sites and my work, but all my Google, my rankings there. And then if you don't rank there, that was my only strategy, and my income was back in zero basically. And of course, I made this huge rookie mistake, and I didn't build my list. So, but man, but that's a great example that, I didn't thought about even, am I helping someone, or are these products actually good I'm promoting, or anything like that. I was only thinking about these technical stuff. I thought that everything, all this internet marketing is so technical stuff. I need to be a designer, a programmer, and all this stuff. But I didn't know anything about selling or psychology behind that, and actually that you have to help people if you want to be successful in this business, and all those other stuff, how you're building your following and this building. Now we're going really technical, but then I realized that actually I'm depending again. Before that business, I was depending on my boss, and now I'm depending on Google, And I realized that I really need to learn something where I'm on control. I can control actually. And of course, I realized that it's paid traffic. So, but I'm not telling that SEO strategies or anything is not working, but you have to do it properly, obviously, and build your list. And many people are making a lot of money that way. But then I actually came across, a guy named Vic Stryces, thanks to. Because I started to learn paid traffic, and I found his product, High Traffic Academy. Probably you're pretty familiar with that product as well, Tony.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that.
Okay, I believe so. So and that was, I can say, in the end of 2011. And I was already, after I lost my kidney transplant and on dialysis like 3 years. And I was still waiting, and when you're waiting, your kidney transplant, you have to be, available all the time. So you can't switch off your cell phone. You're always ready to go. When they call you, you have to be ready to go to the surgery. You can't travel because you might miss the opportunity, to get the kidney. So I was pretty much like stuck in my city, in capital Tallinn, in Estonian capital, and because anyway, you have to go to dialysis, 4 times a week. So it's really, really hard to go anywhere. So it was really, really difficult, period of time. And especially when I started to, I realized that I really need to learn, paid traffic and a little bit more. When I right now think back, I didn't know anything about this stuff, and I'm still learning. We're all learning, all the time, every day, new stuff. But then I realized that okay, I need to do paid traffic, but man, I'm broke again because I don't have any income, and because those sites didn't make me any some proper money anymore. And I figured out some way how I found some part-time job actually after dialysis, Even when you're, I don't wish that something like that, even for my biggest enemy, because the way you feel after dialysis is just, you just feel that you don't want to do anything. You just want to lay down and sleep or just be really, really, calm and peaceful because you just have headaches and then you feel like crap, But I had a vision, because I really in my mind, I realized that I want to become an online doctor full time, and that's the way I can, because I know that in future, I don't know, I probably need to spend some time in a hospital. I know that fact, and there is a better. This industry is perfect for me. I can work from online wherever I am, and that's really important to me. So I had this vision, and I was, okay. 2012, I can say was the hardest year in my life because I was on dialysis treatment. After dialysis treatment, I went to my part-time job to make that money so I can invest into my business, so I can start learning some stuff and then testing some paid traffic and different strategies. That was my plan, That was my plan at that time at least. And what the end result was that I didn't make the money I want to make. So and I ended up like working crazy hours, that time. And mentally, and emotionally, that time was probably like I said, the hardest time in my life. So one crazy thing I actually did, actually I started with this stuff already in 2011. So even when sports and everything wasn't really recommended, I was on dialysis treatment and everything. So I started running, I just feel that I need to do some sports, and then it was like I'm really passionate about this stuff, and I feel all the time that every time I'm doing something physical, and even when I'm shooting basketball my own or something like that, I just feel that I'm not thinking about anything. This is the place where I can get peace and clear my mind, and I realized that if I don't want to and ended up like really in depression and everything, in stress, I need to do that, So with 2 years, like I ended up running 5 full marathons while being on dialysis treatment and without kidneys. So it's pretty crazy because I've tried to find people around the world, maybe who have done it or something. So so far I haven't met anyone who have actually run a marathon without kidneys or being on dialysis treatment. So, but I believe that if you want to be successful, 2 things that will you can grow as a person is running and reading, because it will take some willpower to do that at the beginning, especially, if you're not comfortable with reading, every day, or if you're not, if you want to, especially people who want to get in shape, it's really hard to start, working out and everything like that. So I believe 2 important things, people can do when they want to really change their life and they really want to start, grow as a person, are reading and running. At least these 2 things are working for me. So, but finally, in the end of 2012, I was really on that point, like our friend Paulo is saying, he was a crap magnet, I can say that at that time I became a crap magnet. I was really negative. I was really, I hated that job I had. I did it only because of money, and I didn't make that money I want to make so I can invest into my business. So my girlfriend, started saying that, Andre, you're not doing the stuff the reason you started on the job, was so you can build your business, but you're not going forward. You're going back right now because you're not working on your business at all. Okay, and obviously you're just so frustrated, and you're not the person you were like a year before, when you started on this job. And especially my girlfriend, she's so important person in my life, and she has helped me, more than I can, say, because we met, on thanks to running. Actually, we run together on one marathon. No, it wasn't the full marathon. It was shorter distance. But this is how we met, actually. and we both have, this athlete background. I played basketball, and she's actually 4-time Estonian champion in karate. So and she's doing the network marketing. She's involved in one other company. So she has really strong, she has the right mindset, and every time I go, I'm not going to the right direction, I'm maybe a little bit negative. She's always, tell me that man, what are you saying? Why are you doing this? It's not working, and don't be so negative, and then don't complain, So she's always give me this power, and don't give me, it's hard to explain, but she's just, I can say that she's my secret weapon, But anyway, I quit my job 2 weeks before the Christmas 2012, and this was like so dead serious decision. Oh, she's calling. Sorry. I did. Sorry about that. Where was I? I quit my job, 2 weeks before the Christmas 2012. Yeah, and this was like so dead serious decision that I told myself that I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I will make it happen. I will become a full-time online marketer, and I don't want to depend on anyone else, so I can control my financial life myself, at least. So that was my goal. That was my why. That actually drives me even today. Because I know I don't have any other option. I don't want to depend on anyone else. And the next 2 weeks I was like I was just chilling and relaxing and thinking that how I'm going to do that now. And I had that time before the Christmas. Until Christmas Eve, it was a little bit after midnight, maybe half an hour or something like that. It's so hard to describe the feeling, when things like that happen. But I got a phone call from hospital after more than 5 years of waiting. I waited my kidney transplant. And I got the kidney phone call, and they told me that I need to come to the hospital as fast as possible because they had a kidney for me. Okay, so, and in past I have had like I don't know, 5, 6 surgeries different, and I don't afraid this stuff, and every day you're going to dialysis, they put needles in your arm, like 4 times a week. So I really don't afraid like some physical pain or anything like that, but like the feeling like after 5 years, I wasn't even thinking about that stuff, I was living a day, every day like I don't think about, about my bad situation. I did everything I could, to catch, finally be there where I want to be. I just wanted to leave and act as all normal people, And even the dialysis, it's really not a good environment, really negative and bad environment. People are complaining, and then what I did actually on dialysis, all the time, I was working, I had my laptop, and I was typing on one hand because the other hand is connected with the dialysis machine, your blood circle, and everything. And I was working on one hand on my laptop, And when you finally got a phone call that you have to go to the hospital, they have a kidney transplant for you, and you just think back all those 5 years that, man, it's a long time, And this is it, 5 years you have, waited this one phone call, and I was just starting to shake and then cry, and I didn't know what to do, And then my girlfriend just asked, who was it, on the phone, and I told her that, man, I have to go to the, surgery. They have a kidney for me. So on Christmas, night, I had this kidney transplant surgery, and everything went super well. Kidney started working, and until now, everything is like like amazing. No, the whole year since it has been amazing. But I was laying on hospital bed like 2 weeks after the surgery, still recovering in hospital. I finally got out from hospital in middle of in February. I was in hospital about 2 months, But 2 weeks later, after the surgery, I was in hospital, and I opened my laptop and I checked my email, and then I read an email that Vic sent, and he made some it was about a webinar he planned to do, and in that webinar, I believe he came out with the idea, this Big Idea Mastermind idea on Christmas time probably, but I was on hospital. I had a surgery that time, so I missed actually the first webinar, I believe, when he came out with the idea. So,
yeah, that's around that time.
Yeah, I believe
it was around that time.
Oh yeah, thanks. But I joined, in January when I was on some other webinar, and the time difference is between Estonia and Vic is doing his webinar usually like 9 p.m. Eastern time, something like that, and it's like 4 a.m. in the morning, in Estonia. So I was like watching this webinar, in dark, on my hospital bed. At that time, I actually had like $300 on my business account. So I was able to buy actually the blogging platform and the Inner Circle audience, right? But many people are talking about this all-in, position and everything like that. But the moment I joined, everything that Vic told me, I realized right away that I need to be all in. I don't know how. I don't have these resources right now. But even when I joined on and I bought those two first products, I realized right away that this is it. This is what I'm going to do now. I didn't have any plans. Obviously everything came into my life. At the best time ever. At exactly the right time. But the decision was so serious that I realized that I'm all in. But on that moment I bought those two products. Okay. But I was all in. Up here, in my mind, I was all in already. So I actually figured out, I was in hospital. The only thing I had my cell phone, I had my laptop, and I figured out the way to go all in 2 weeks there, okay? And actually I made my first sales from hospital bed, actually using, I used the blogging platform because I had, some skills with SEO and stuff, and it was really easy to rank actually in Poland blog because it has this really high Alexa rank, and but I realized that why I need to be all in. Many people think that I get this question a lot that should I go for example on platform and leave that the rest of the money to buy traffic or anything else. Then I always say that it's your decision. I went all in right away, and I started with zero marketing budget. But this is just like me, because I realized that it's a commitment. It's not only the information you will get, the training you will get, and the positioning and the income potential you have as a diamond member when you are all in. But it's about the commitment in for yourself, At least it's for me, I know that I'm all in, and that's really important to me. But even when talking about faith and beliefs and different stuff, but I don't know how this thing is working, but it's working, I don't know what are you believing? Is it God? Is it universe? Do you believe in yourself? I don't know. People are different, people believe different things. But when something like this happens to you, you finally make a really serious decision that you will make it happen no matter what. I don't know how, but I know that I will make it. This is my decision, And 2 weeks later, you you will get a kidney transplant, and 2 weeks later, you will get the perfect opportunity for you. Okay. So after that, you just think that, you start believing more. You start believing more. Whatever you're believing, you know that when you're serious, when you make serious decisions, when you work on your mindset, all this stuff, when you're grateful for everything you have, but you're serious, you make this decision, and just things start happening to you, with you, and it's really hard to explain that. So I don't know what happened, but from that crazy schedule, I was on dialysis treatment. I went to work after that, and in the evening I worked hard. I was running or something like that, and I had basically zero, time to work on my business. But from that crazy schedule, I was finally free. I didn't have any job. I was free. I got my kidney transplant. No dialysis anymore, And then you just start, thinking that, okay, probably that's the way it should be, When you are serious, I don't know who, but someone will give you some more opportunities and show you that you are on the right track, okay? So anyway, when I was in the hospital, I started making some little money with this opportunity, and I got help from the hospital actually, and then I had the opportunity to go to the first event in Chicago, and at that point, I had another decision, because I had made some money on that point. And I was thinking that I'm going to use this money to put into my business, to advertise or buy some media, buy some traffic, or I'm going to, decide to go to the event in Chicago. I haven't been in the States before, but my girlfriend told me that, she, like I told you, she has the right mindset already, and she told me that if you want to be, take this business seriously, you need to meet those people. You need to meet Vic and other people in your team, and really make those connections, But this thing was just crazy for me because, like I told you, in January, I really wasn't, that confident, and I believe I wasn't able to speak like I'm speaking right now and share my story and all this stuff. I was really, I can say I was really quiet and I was living inside more than outside, And I made this decision, thanks to my girlfriend again, that okay, you need to go to Chicago, and of course I always like to make jokes around this stuff, about my girlfriend because she's a karate champion and I always listen to her. So, but I was we spent 2 awesome weeks in Chicago, and after that, another decision to go to Hawaii, which was, absolutely crazy because, Hawaii is probably the furthest point from my home, I took this crazy, 28, 29-hour trip there. I can't go any further because when I go further, I start coming back to Estonia, So, and then, Hawaii, like I told, everything, I shared my story there, and Hawaii was a big breakthrough for me, especially in up here, Like you're saying, I listened to your audios. You're saying that this 6-inch property you have there, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's gorgeous.
And after Hawaii, actually, like I said, 2013, it's even less than a year ago, I was on dialysis. I had this job. I didn't know what to do. I was really confused, and right now, everything that has happened to me, during this year, it's just crazy, because I haven't worked a single day. after that moment, I decided to quit that job. And I can say that I'm a full-time online marketer because I'm earning all my living online right now since then. So, but after Hawaii, actually, I got some virus, crazy viruses. So I spent, I had some huge stomach pains. I don't know what was wrong, and I spent basically the whole July and a little bit in August I spent in the hospital, and I wasn't able to work at all. And then I really, in that time I was in hospital, I realized the power inside the compensation plan we have, this residual income. Because after I got out, I saw that, I still have, I still see that money coming in, Even when I was on hospital bed, I wasn't able to work. I made sales because this stuff is, recurring every monthly, payments there. And that's really powerful, and, but, man, right now, the last two, I can say since September, I'm now 2 months here, only 2 months. I'm able to work again, and I really hope I can come to Miami at least, and see all you guys, and I mean, events are just the most important part of this stuff, and right now, just before the call, I actually booked my flight ticket and the hotel to go to UK event. Polo and other people are doing this stuff in UK. So I hope it's in the end of November. But I mean, always, even when I was in hospital, I hope that I will make it, in Denver. And then this time we had this, 4 events, and every time I'm not saying that, that to myself that I don't know, maybe I'm not able to go because I don't know that every time I need to travel, I need to visit my doctor and do some analysis and stuff. So is everything stable and can I travel, But I don't know right now even can I go to London, But every time there is an event, I go and buy the ticket because there is a decision in up here already that I will go, I need to be there. I want to be there, because it's important. It's my business now. But I will do everything I can to go. So, but it is what it is. It's never. I can't say for sure. Can I go? It's sure when I'm in plane all the time that I go that I can go to the events. So, but you started this call, Tony, talking about mindset and all this stuff, and is this really important? And mindset is everything, Mindset is absolutely everything. Not only in this business, but mindset is everything in your life, And everything that happens to you in life, everything you want to accomplish, everything you're doing. Everything is mindset. Everything is. I mean, when you people usually, just give up on their dreams too easily. I see that, and they hope that they come into this marketplace often really with wrong mindset, and they hope that they will get rich overnight. But sometimes it's really really funny even think about it, because we all are like grown-ups, but people really don't think like realistically, and I was like that, everybody was like that, because we don't know how to do it really, and then we don't know how important is really our mindset and everything, and we think that, when we hit some income goal, we are there, this is the end destination, and what then, then I stop working on my mindset, I start watching TV and drinking beer with my friends every night. No, it's not like that, it's who you are, it's who you become, it's a journey, it's a journey, and you will succeed when you finally start enjoying the learning process every single day, because I'm sure that, all great guys, you, Tony, and then and then Miles and Paulo and or whatever, Vic, Dave and Dave's other great, business people out there. They're not in the end destination. They keep learning every single day, Everybody learning. It's you just think that you don't know anything. This is where you get started, I don't care, are you 18 or 88, You should be, working to really hit your goals, That will give you the power, and that will give you the purpose for your life, It really, you can't give up on your dreams, because if you go forth and keep moving forward, if you really do, every day, what you can, there is no chance that you will not succeed. You will succeed. The question is just when you succeed and when you will hit your goal. But when you quit, the game is over already. When you quit, the game is over. But you can't quit. You keep working on your goals. Back to you, Tony. Man, I haven't talked about that much for a long time.
No, you did an awesome job, man. I just, I really appreciate you coming out here and on this call and sharing like you did, because I know that there are people that are going to hear this call, and there are people that are listening to it live that are going to get a lot from this call. Because, how many people, seriously, how many people who are typical, quote unquote, in our organization, we always say that we are not typical. And how many people that are typical will quit if they found themselves in your position, where you at any time could have, and I'm sure you went through it, like you said. You even said it yourself, that you felt down and you felt negative, and you had the support of your girlfriend, to come in and pick you up when you felt down. The scriptures teach that the women they cover our backs because our backs are open, and we only have the shield in the front. I don't know. I don't know what your beliefs are, but and that's irrelevant here. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we as men wear the shield in the front, and we have those special women in our lives that cover our back. So that's awesome when you have somebody, the ability to have someone in your life that can cover your back when you feel down and put out a hand and reach out to you and say, hey, let me help you up. And I know what, and I was thinking about this as you were talking, because that's really powerful that you can find yourself the way you were in the position you were in, and you still said, wait a minute, I'm going to grab my laptop while I'm sitting over there getting the dialysis, and I'm very familiar with that because I have family members that went through that, and I have family members where actually dialysis killed them. But, you are a blessing because you are here, and you made it through that, and you made it through that journey yourself. And it's true what you said, that it's the 6 inches of real estate. You hear me say this all the time in the calls, the 6 inches of real estate that we all own between our ears, that the minute, the very moment, the very second, the millisecond that we figure out that, hey, I am in control of that, that's when you start to begin seeing the breakthroughs. And that's why, we do these calls, because we want to reach out to those people and help those people that may not have someone covering their back. And when they feel down and they can, we will all go through that, And there was another thing that you said that really, really struck a chord with me, because I actually have the great honor of having someone in our organization that is 85 years old. And he is 85 years old, and he is. I just enjoyed talking to him on the phone, and I only spent probably like an hour or so when we do our first calls with the new people that come in, and I had the opportunity to spend an hour with this man on the phone. It was amazing. And he's a doctor, and he's worked for NASA and worked for different things. And this guy is just on fire, and it's like it makes me. It just really makes me happy to see that there are people out there that are realizing that they have the power within. and if they just work on that power within, the world without will just be, it'll be coconuts and palm trees, like I say. That if you work with the world you work on the world within, work at that world within, and the world without will be palm trees and coconuts. But did you have anything else you wanted to share with these great folks?
Man, it's I mean, even if you're, maybe people think that, online business and they really, I mean, that was really important, lesson for me, like I said, how I started, with different SEO strategies, and I sold some crappy products, but really, everything will change for me actually when I finally start, communicating with people, when, like you said, when we have like new members, give a call, say hi, how are you doing, welcome, maybe some people who, people think that why people don't upgrade or go to a higher level, maybe they're just afraid, maybe they just want to hear your voice to go all in, to buy those, other products, that's what it's all about. And when you finally don't sell all the time, just even when you're writing to your list, or just say that, ask how I can help you, maybe just give them some surveys or web forms or phone numbers, give me a call, when you have a question, let's say one thing I have done, I haven't done it lately, but at the beginning was that I had Free Help Monday, I send out email that, okay, I'm online on Skype, that if you have whatever, I don't care what your business online, give me a call, I'm sure I can help you, whatever your question is, and it was really, really popular, people, added me on Skype and started calling me. So it's all about, real connections, real people, real people and real business,
You'll be surprised how simple it really is. A lot of so many people. Now, I come from a different school of Knox where, I never had the support. No matter what it was I was doing, I never had the support from the person that I enrolled in with. But I never let that stop me. That never stopped me. I have people that'll say to me now, I see them on the Facebook, and they'll say, oh, my sponsor doesn't even answer my emails and this and that. And I always say, so, because they'll send me a message and say something about this. And I'm like, listen, you don't need your sponsor to help you with anything. You have everything at your disposal. Everything is in the back office for you to get started. Depending on what position you're in and things like that, you have everything at your disposal. But I was always that way. I was I don't know, I just never really sat around and waited for anyone to make it happen for me. I was just even when I found myself in my black hole, like you heard me talk about at the beginning of the call, even when I was in that predicament, I didn't reach out to anyone, and I didn't really wait around for anyone. I just when I figured it out, and when I figured out that I had the power, I started to ask the right questions. That is so powerful. For those of you that stayed till the end of the call, that's the huge golden boulder that I just threw right on your lap. That I had the power. I figured it out, and I said to myself, wait a minute, I'm asking myself the wrong questions. And I reconfigured the questions that I'm asking myself. It's really powerful to be careful of the questions you're asking yourself. You don't ask yourself, man, why am I always broke? For instance, just to share this with you guys before we get off the call, why you don't say, why am I always broke? That's the wrong question to ask yourself. You ask yourself, what must I do to get the outcome that I want? I had somebody send a survey. My assistant just sent it over, and I saw the survey, and the questions that are being asked on the surveys are really there to ask the new person to see where the mindset of that new person is. Not the new person, that's the wrong words to use, but the person that just decided to take action. And we send out a survey. My assistant will send out a survey, and the survey will ask the question, and the answer will be yes. Really? We just asked you a really powerful question, and your answer is yes. Mm-hmm. But But when you ask the person, how much money do you want to be making in a month and by what time, they'll say, like, for instance, answers on this question here, $10,000 a month by the end of 2014. Now, if you can't answer the question that we just asked you in that great detail, how are you going to earn $10,000 a month by the end of 2014 when you don't have those other things in order? You see, those are things that you have to understand, to take that into consideration when you are sitting down to write your goals, and you're sitting down to write what it is your intentions are. You'll learn this if you're part of our organization, you'll learn this as you go on. And I've been teaching on this stuff too, that your intentions is what's really important. It's sort of like before we get on these calls, I always say to myself, because there's nobody here to ask them to, but I always say to myself, what is the intention of this call? I always ask myself that question, what is the intention for today's call? And with that question always comes the answer. And if I don't know if you were listening to yesterday's call, I don't know if you heard yesterday's call, but yesterday's call.
So sorry, no.
That's okay. But yesterday's call, I asked myself that question, what's the intention for today? And then I started to talk and stuff, and then right midstream, I listened to the call myself too, and right midstream, I can see where, man, it just took off. I probably could have spoke for about another 2 hours. But I just looked at the clock, because I have a tendency not to look at the clock, and I just looked at the clock, and I was like, whoa, okay, it's time to jump off of here. But I could have kept going for another 2 hours. It's funny, because I said to my wife, I said, I probably could have went for another 2 hours. She started laughing. She said, yeah, I can see you doing that too. But I just stopped. I stopped myself right at the end. I was like, oh my Lord, I'm over by 3 minutes. I was like, let me just go ahead and pull the brakes here and let me go in for a landing, But yeah, so I just know that there's so many people out there that are in need, and I want to commend you too, right here publicly on this phone, what you're doing with that charity, the things that you're doing with the charity, and the things how you're giving back, and and I really wanted to congratulate you for taking action the way you did. You could have just as simply, easily just quit. You could have said to yourself, "That's it, I'm done." You probably did. You probably did. But then you reached out, and somebody reached out to you to help you up, and you just decided, okay, I'm going to keep moving forward. So I just wanted to share that with you. I wanted to, congratulate you and to thank you for not quitting, because you're an inspiration. You are an inspiration to those people that you surround, those people in your neighborhood, those people that get close to you, those people that know you. You're an inspiration to them, and you're an inspiration to me. And I really appreciate that.
Thanks so much.
I know it, and I know it can be hard, especially when you were on that dialysis and stuff. That it's you're tired and you really just want to sleep, and and you pushed yourself. I know it was a lot of pushing, and I just wanted to commend you for that.
It is. Yeah, I'm lucky person, because I have so many great people around me, my family and everybody. So I'm really blessed.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, I am blessed. I know that we are blessed, because I say this all the time, that we are in a group of people that are just amazing. There's a group of us, a bunch of us, in our organization, Vic and all them, and it's just like a big camaraderie that's going on here. We got a big family, and it's always nice to be able to reach out to get help, and there's always somebody there to help. But
exactly.
Some of them. Some of them don't have good intentions. They're always trying to sell something. But, we have to be adults. We have to be adults and learn. And, we have to be adults and learn that we have to know how to decipher what's good for you and what's not. But do you have any other last-minute parting words, or are we going to call this a wrap?
I believe, like I told you, I heard your 2 audios, I listened yesterday, and you're saying like I believe even right now, today you're helping so many people, and I just hope that people who are listening to these audios, take this information seriously and really listen every single day, that stuff, you really. and you talk about these surveys, and people really don't know what they want. I see every day the same stuff. I'm probably using the surveys as well. And people, ask how much money you want to make. A lot of money. Why you want to make that money? I just want a better life. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. So it's really people don't want. They just don't want what they have right now, or they don't know what they have already, and all this stuff. So just like you started, mindset. Everything is mindset. Everything is between your 2 ears. That's all you have to work on.
That's it. Well, like I said, I want to thank you for being on here with us. And for those of you that stayed on until the end, I really appreciate all of you for staying on with us. And for those of you that are listening to these words, listening to the sound of our voices via recording, we want to thank you and appreciate you for listening to the whole entire recording. We'll be back on here again tomorrow if the good Lord permits it. We'll be back on here again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to thank you for coming on and being my guest on here today. And I really do appreciate you and everything that you did for us today. But with that, if there's nothing else more to add, we'll bid everybody a farewell. And I just want to leave all of you with these last words. Just remember one thing, that the life that you are currently living is the life that you created. Thank you, Andy, for coming on with us, buddy. Andre.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I called
Bye-bye.
you Andy. I called you Andy. Sorry about that, man, Andre.
That's okay.
All right, but thank you very much, folks, for coming on here, and we bid you farewell until we speak again tomorrow. Take care. God bless, and bye for now.